So now how do we use the system? Well, first of all, preparing FM tester strips. First, prepare 9 tester strips which are available from FM, 1 for each of the 9 fragrance family groups for women. I'm only going to be talking about the women's one here, but you would also do the same for the 7 fragrance family groups for men. So here you're going to write in the FM number. Here you apply the relevant color label for easy recognition, and here is where you apply the actual fragrance itself. Now make sure you put plenty of perfume on the tester strips so that the fragrance is noticeable and lasting. And what I normally do is I take the cap off, I put the tester strip on top of the bottle, I turn it upside down as you can see here, it starts to soak the bottom, I tip it back, and then I put that bottle away, I put the cap back on, and that's enough for that strip. You would need to download an FM testing sheet, and these are going to be downloadable from my website from the 25th of July. Now this section at the top is for finding the customer's favorite fragrance family group, and this section at the bottom is for finding the customer's favorite FM fragrances. So how to use the Color My Perfume system. You are not going to ask anybody, what perfume do you like? You're not going to ask what fragrance family do you prefer. You're not going to ask what perfume manufacturer do you normally go for. In fact, guys, you are not going to ask anything at all. Nothing. What you are going to do is you are going to tell them what is going to happen next. You're going to tell them that first you're going to sample 9 perfumes in a tea bag so that I can recommend the right fragrance family group of perfumes for you. And then you'd explain the use of the tea bag, or if you prefer coffee beans. And basically is you very gently sniff the tea bag in between each perfume that you've tried, because it clears the nose of that perfume so that the next one is self-explanatory and it'll work every time. And you tell them, here's an FM testing sheet, and as you try each perfume, score each one in the top section from 0 to 10. 0 meaning you do not like it at all, and 10 meaning you really do love it. Now, choosing your favorite from the 9 samples will show you which fragrance family group you prefer, and we can then use my sample kit to find the right perfume for you. Now, don't worry if what you have chosen is not exactly what you like. We are just sorting out the fragrance family group. So now you hand out the first tester strip with the FM number written on it, which obviously you prepare these in advance. If you have more than one person, okay, you give it to the first person and let them sample it, and then they'll give it to the next person. And after every person has sampled it and written down their score, take out the next tester strip and repeat the process, making sure that they gently smell the tea bags in between. Continue this until all 9 fragrances have been sampled and scored. Now, if the customer has selected more than one fragrance with the same highest score, ask them to now smell only these again and to choose which one they prefer. So in this instance, they might have chosen 7 as the highest score for FM10 and also FM173. So they would try FM10 again, then they would gently sniff a tea bag, and then they would try FM173 and decide which one they prefer. Now, after they sampled the 9 perfumes and have filled in their scores on the top of the testing sheet, this is an example of what you can say. You selected FM173, which is in the Oriental Wood, Spicy Ambergris family, and all of that family have red and white striped labels. Those are the ones you're going to be trying in my sample kit. I'm just going to stop here for a moment, guys, and say I always say sample kit. Okay, I never say starter kit, because starter kit means a business, sample kit means perfume. Okay, then you go back and you say, now that we know which fragrance family group you like, you are going to sample perfumes from it. On the bottom part of the testing sheet, please write down which perfume numbers you are trying and where you are placing them. First, I'm going to apply some fragrances to your fingertips, and when I have finished, you can smell them. Okay, this allows the top note to boil off. So when you put the perfumes on, by the time you put the last one on, the top note will have gone. Now, most of you probably know that there are 3 parts to a perfume. You have the top note, which bores off very quickly, 15-20 seconds. There's the middle note, which is called the heart note, which takes about 10 to 20 minutes to mellow down to the bass note, which is the one that lasts for about 6 hours. And you continue saying to them, as you try each one, please score the perfume from 0 to 5. 0 meaning you do not like it at all, and 5 meaning you really love it. So here's an example. Okay, we're going to put FM27 onto the left thumb, FM26 onto the left index finger, FM32 on the middle finger, etc. So you can see what is happening. We do this all the way through. And then we say to the customer, I want you to score FM24 from 0 to 5. So they score that as 4, FM26 is 5, FM32 is 3. And as you can see, they go down and they complete this system. Now, when you look at this testing sheet example above, you can see that your potential new customer has scored 4 different perfumes with the same top score. So that's FM26, FM162, FM258, and FM177. And it doesn't matter what the top number is that they've scored. You know, it could have been 3 points or 4 points or 5. It doesn't really matter. And then you say, that's great. So you really do like FM26, FM162, 158, and 177. Would you like to buy a bottle of each? The importance of this result is that the customer selected the fragrance family group of her choice. The customer selected the actual fragrance of her choice without you asking any questions. She did this herself. So you actually controlled the system, but she actually went through this and selected herself which perfume she wanted. Okay, this is a note. If you're testing Floral 1, Floral 2 or Floral 3 for women, do not test more than 12 fragrances, as it will be far too much. In the above families, make sure you use a selection of the classic, the luxury and extravagant fragrances as testers. So, for example, in Floral 1, you could have, say, 4 classic, it would be FM 10, 17, 25 and 180. For luxury, you could use FM 281, 291, 322 and 323. And for extravagant, you could use FM 294, 303, 304 and 305. Okay, so don't just take the very first ones that come up along your sample kit. And let the customer keep the testing sheet. Really important. They can refer back to it later. Make sure you also put your contact details on it so that they can always phone you and get in contact with you. They also may want to buy later on perfumes from the other 8 fragrance families. Now, there are 2 of these sets per sheet, so you can keep a copy of what they filled in using that second panel and put that person's name and date of test so that you can always refer back to it later on. So you make a copy, tear it in half, give them 1 copy, and you have a copy too. So what are the advantages of this system? Well, colors are more recognizable than words and FM numbers. That is a scientific fact, and I'm actually going to prove it to you here and now. Okay, I'm going to put 2 objects up on the screen now, and I want you to look at it and decide which one do you notice first. Okay, so I'm going to do it after I count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, unless you're colorblind, most of you will say that the block on the left was the first thing you noticed. You see, the words are the same. Yellow is the color of sunshine. It's associated with joy, happiness, intellect, and energy. But the big difference is I've used a color, and that color made this one on the left more noticeable. Other advantages of the system: customers try a selection of 9 different perfumes, many of which they would not have tried before. They may now like more than just one type. It is easy for them to see which perfumes they should be trying because they now know which color to look for. So every time they come to see you, they will know which color to look for in your sample kit. Another advantage is you haven't asked what type of perfume do you like, or what perfume company do you prefer. So your confidence will increase and you will be respected for your knowledge because you are now behaving properly as a perfume consultant. Now, the sample kit layouts. Now you can leave the kits in exactly the same order as you normally have them and just add the appropriate color labels. This is my kit. I always leave it in the way that it's delivered to me by FM, which is a numerical, and here you can see that presentation. But if you want to, you can actually group the colors together. The choice is yours. So here you can see I've put all of the greens together, all of the green stripe together, all of the green mottled together. The choice is entirely up to you. Okay, tester strips. Use the tester strips for initial sampling of the fragrance family group. This is very, very important as it allows you to keep the hands free for selecting the actual fragrances. And to look more professional, you can add a colored label to each of the tester strips underneath the FM number that you've written on each one. Okay, other uses for the labels. Well, you can label your display bottles so that you and your customers can recognize which fragrance family they belong to. So if you do shows or things like this, or you're doing, you have a fete, or you're standing behind a counter of some sort with your display in front of you, you can put a label on the back and you will know immediately which fragrance family these bottles are in. Okay, each complete set is available on self-adhesive strips of 10 labels per color, with enough for the whole sample kit. There are 200 assorted colored labels in a complete set, costing only £5.25 UK. Now, postage and packaging in the UK is £1.50. All orders will be sent recorded delivery in the UK and will need to be signed for on receipt. And postage and packaging prices for delivery outside of the UK will be available in the shop at www.simply-thebest.biz after the 25th of July. Now, individual color strips are also available in strips of 10 of each color for refills, and cost per strip of 10 labels of each color is only 30p. And again, postage and packaging in the UK is £1.50, and postage and packaging for delivery outside of the UK will be available after the 25th of July.